to another mukbang. Some water here. Bismillah. Comic book, cold water for you. Hey, you're not getting it. This, I just fed this cat. Unbelievable. You take after me or something?
Yeah, but if you stopped feeding her off your plate, then she'd learn just to not hang around you while you're eating.
Alright, so we have here
Damn, that's
Substop,
loud.
which is a local Kuwaiti company, owned company. Substop. Basically the same as Subway, but not Subway. And I have a spare sandwich, and I have a 6-inch. This can always go in the fridge if I don't want it. And some cheesy chips, and some diet soda. Okay?
Okay, let's go.
So here we go. Miriam bite.
Are you going to tell us what's on it? Did you? Was I just not listening? I'm not going back.
Spicy BMT. Toasted oregano and parmesan bread. Lettuce, tomato. Olives, pickles. Southwest sauce, mayo. Olive oil and vinegar. I don't know what else.
I've never understood why people have vinegar on sandwiches. Like, doesn't it just make the bread go soggy? I'm really picky though. I can't eat soggy shit.
Well, guys,
Soggy and slimy, yuck. No thanks.
we have a ghost in here. Or a djinn or whatever it is.
What happened to the camera? Did you see that? Don't talk about me. Oh, it's still going. Oh,
And mozzarella cheese.
so you've got cheese on the sandwich, plus parmesan cheese bread, and cheese chips. Chantal. It's really just getting sad now.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk around the house reciting the Quran.
See, that's because it knows you're lying.
Remember the other day I was live streaming off camera and I saw a black shadow? This time,
What if it's Salah's mum? Ooh.
I was cleaning the bathroom.
Sorry, I don't know if that's free to say. I was just making a joke though. Didn't mean any offence by it.
One of them. And in the spare bathroom in the hall, the shower, because we have 2 showers. One has a bathtub, one no. This is a standing shower with a glass door. So I'm cleaning the bathroom and I get to the shower. And yeah, I know, Ghost, you're jealous of this. You can't eat this. I know. Even though when we get to heaven, apparently you're supposed to be able to have anything you want. Anyway, I get to the shower part of cleaning. And I open the door, the glass door. And I go in, I'm like, I have to leave for a minute. I forgot the cleaner, like the specific cleaner for like mildew
Why are your nails so dirty? Or just the one?
and stuff for showers. So it's in the kitchen. I leave to go in the kitchen. I come back and the door's closed.
It could be anything really. Just one door's closed, that's it. You've got a ghost, door's closed. Anything else? And a black shadow, just one?
Now, that's
Come on, tell us good ghost stories.
unsettling because onions too. I would hear the door closing. Like, I should hear it. It's a glass door. Also, I wasn't gone for very long in the kitchen. Less than a minute. Maybe a minute. Let's say. It doesn't take long to close the door, but I mean, I don't know. Anyways. That really did make my hair stand up on end. Like,
I'd be more worried about all the spirits that you can't see that are staring at you. There's probably some right up in your face right now, Chantal.
when you experience something weird like that, it's a different kind of fear, you know?
Mm. Yeah, but then you just start thinking stuff and you make yourself even more scared when you're probably just... The wind from you walking out of the bathroom probably shut the door.
Then if you see a spider. Because that's a worldly creature, you know?
It's a fear of the unknown. Wait. Doesn't she go ghost hunting? Why are you scared? You seek this stuff out. What are you talking about?
So
I just remembered that she... You can't do both. You can't go ghost hunting and be scared of them. You probably brought something home.
explain it. But I know I left the shower door open because I remember like looking around and thinking, oh, I gotta remove the toiletries and everything, and I remember looking inside the shower. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing it. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I should set up a camera. Anyway, I want to tell you guys, be grateful. Be super grateful for everything you have right now, because the story I'm about to tell you, of the things I've seen, I was watching a series called The Most, like, insane, the worst prisons in the world. And the one episode I was watching was like from Madagascar.
It's got nothing to do with being grateful for what you have. Don't break the law and you won't go to jail. Pretty fucking simple.
Here my ignorant self is thinking Madagascar, thanks to Disney, is like full of cute giraffes and everything. Singing elephants.
You're an idiot.
I'm sure it's a beautiful
Not everything is a Disney movie, unfortunately.
country, but this is what Disney
Welcome outside of your box, Chantal.
he doesn't show you. So the prison there, actually I learned that Madagascar is the only country where you can still get the plague. The plague. Yeah, like the plague from the hear ye days. That plague. Anyway, this prison is inhumane. And I hope they do something about it, but That country doesn't have a lot of money on a whole. I don't even feel bad eating this, talking about this, because...
You do not. Shut up.
So, the prison has like a capacity for like 1,400 people, or something like that. And it has...
Why do you repeat stories that you don't even know the full details?
quadruple that amount.
And it's jail. It's not supposed to be comfortable.
Like, it's overcrowded.
Like most
So-
of them.
People are sleeping like sardines next to each other on the hard floor.
So,
There's no AC, and it's
So?
academic. So, like, it's super hot, and they get shut in the cell, and then the guard has to come in and tell them when to turn over. So there's a lot of horrible things going on. I'm sure you can imagine. It's hot. Imagine being like...
fuck them. They're in jail, Chantal. Do you realise that they've committed some kind of crime to be there? It's their punishment.
overcramped with like in one room with like 60 men all sweating. And anyway, there's a little bathroom. I won't even tell you about that when I'm eating. If you get sent to the hole, there's no bathroom in there.
Which is solitary confinement. Yep. Which is for when you are in fights or whatever, committing a crime or whatever, while you're already in jail. So it's an extra punishment. Yep.
You get half,
Well deserved. Yes. Keep going.
half of the food
Mm-hmm.
that you would normally get.
So,
It's been described as literal hell. People just laying in their own waste all day.
too fucking bad. Don't break the law and it won't happen to you. Pretty simple. Don't feel sorry for them. Are you serious? You can't feel sorry for yourself, but you feel sorry for people who have broken the law and have to sleep on a hard floor in the heat. Oh, what a fucking shame. I wonder how they could have prevented that.
Nothing to do. The food, you get manioc or cassava. It's like a potato but harder. A root vegetable. And it's so hard they have to cook it all day in just water. And the prison only gives the prisoners
It's called
one
boiling.
meal a day at like 3 p.m. and it's only manioc or
Mhm.
cassava root.
Oh well. Sucks to be them.
One prisoner's been there for 30 years because the worst thing about this place, there's not really any hope of getting out unless you bribe the judge. And most of their freedom costs like $100 Canadian, but that's a lot of money for them. And or maybe like 200 or something.
Do some research before you repeat these fucking stories.
So you get this one meal. Imagine being there for 30 years eating the same thing every day.
Oh well, don't do the wrong fucking thing. You're not even in jail and you eat the same fucking shit. So what's the difference?
A lot of these people could even be innocent. They're supposed to have a trial. And sometimes they go 5 years, 10 years, without ever even seeing a judge.
Bullshit.
Imagine.
No thanks.
It's like they just... And some of them is just like petty theft.
So what? It's still theft. Is that what you said to yourself about Sala cheating? Because it wasn't person to person, so it's just petty cheating. It's okay, I'll forgive that one. We can see where your mentality is.
The lack of human rights is astounding.
Too fucking bad. Lawbreakers, so what? There's always someone that thinks that laws don't apply to them. How about searching jails in Kuwait? What do you care about Madagascar for?
I was shocked. I have no idea.
It's a third world country. What do you expect?
This goes on.
Fuck's sake. You can't be this stupid. Well, this is
And
you.
it makes me sad for them,
Aww.
of course. It's
Aww.
so eye-opening. Like, even when I've been at my most poorest, it's still extremely rich compared to a lot of people in the world, and I feel like that's not fair, you know?
How about go on a holiday? Go to Madagascar. Show us what it's really like, Chantal.
And of course,
Bet
I
you
don't have
don't.
the means to save the world or anything, but
You've never
One day-
tried.
I would like to. Think of how I can help people and make a difference somehow.
I don't know, maybe by finishing a fucking sentence before stuffing more food in your mouth. Your opinion on a jail is not going to change anything. I don't know what you think you're getting at.
I was floored. It's not just Madagascar, but they have the plague. Like, there's a big risk of imagine the plague spreading in a prison like that with thousands of people. It would eventually get to the town people. Now, it's because they have a lot of rats. And the rats have fleas. And the fleas bite the inmates. There's cockroaches, fleas, lice,
Sucks to be them.
a lot. So, I'm gonna put the other half in the fridge. I wish I could share it with them. Like,
What are you going to do? Send it to Madagascar? Jesus Christ.
so bad.
Where was this feeling sorry when you weren't feeding your cats? You were starving them. They weren't even in jail. You didn't give a shit.
And there's a woman's side of the prison. And, they have their babies there with them.
Yep. Cool.
But the women form a community. And they help each other out. So, and they usually have like family members who bring them some food, and they all share. They all cook and share. Some of the inmates, you're lucky if you have family. A lot of the inmates have family who bring them food and water and clothes and stuff like that.
So them getting one meal a day is bullshit because they have their family bring them food. So you're already lying.
Or if you have money, they do sell food there. But if you have no family and you have no money,
Then you shouldn't break the fucking law.
that's when it's dire, you know? So I feel bad for those people.
You're a moron.
I couldn't even imagine. To me, that would be worse than
Of course it would. Can you imagine eating one meal a day? Never. And a potato? I don't think so.
Capital punishment to live in those conditions would be hell on earth. Yeah. So, but you know, the humans have. I heard one inmate say you just get used to it
You heard an inmate say it?
because
Doubtful. You have no
humans
choice?
have this amazing ability to adapt to most situations. A lot of sorry, I have lipstick everywhere. A lot of people can adapt, you know, out of just necessity. And you know, they say they block out things, they get used to the cockroaches. And this is really sad, but some people make friends with them. And I understand that because I made friends with the spider when I was at a camp. Not comparing the camp to the prison, but
How many movies do you watch? Because that's in a movie. I just don't know what it is. But there's a spider. She's on a top bunk bed. And there's a spider in the corner of the window. And then one day she goes back and it's not there. Are you telling porkies again, Chantal?
just that feeling of like adapting to the environment, you know, in a certain way, with at least with the bugs. Anyway, I don't know where I'm getting at. All right, what are you doing when I'm trying to? Are you being?
Okay, so I found the prison that she's talking about. And I wanted to clear a few things up. And just let you guys watch what she watched so we get the whole picture.
A clap every hour. The signal for prisoners to turn over. Too painful to sleep in the same position. They spend up to 14 hours locked in rooms like this. Meant for 40 people, we found 200.
Okay, I want to start with this. The way that she portrayed it is that a guard comes in every hour and claps until they roll over. No. They're made to roll over every hour in order to prevent pressure injuries laying on in one spot for 16 hours. Should there be that many people in there? Obviously not. Yes, it is humane, but this is actually looking after them.
Sleeping on the floor. Most don't even have a mat to lie on. It started with a
And even that heading, punished for being poor, because they can't they don't have the money to bribe the judge to let them out. That's why they're being punished for being poor, because they can't afford to pay off the judge to let them out, which we'll tell you this later on.
card game for Martin and his friends. Like any 18-year-old, he was enjoying a night out when the police randomly rounded them up. Next thing he knew, he was sent to this prison in Manakara. Martin has not been tried and has never seen a lawyer. Shockingly, he is still here after almost a year.
Yeah, but that happens too. That happens everywhere in the world.
Stories of extreme violence being used by the police are the norm rather than the exception. 60-year-old
That's also the norm in America too, so, you know.
Marcel and his two sons experienced this firsthand. Since arriving here 3 years ago, his son hasn't left the infirmary. He now relies on his father for everything, including taking him to the toilet. Tamara Léger from Amnesty International has visited.
They didn't tell you though what he did to be in jail for. Yeah, okay, he shouldn't have been beaten around so badly that he's now deaf. I get that. I'm not condoning that at all. But what did he do to get in there? Obviously he wasn't complying with the guards.
Many prisons across the country to expose this appalling injustice.
Les gens qui ne viennent pas ici, ils ne peuvent pas s'imaginer ce que ça veut dire autant de détention préventive. Donc est-ce que juste pour leur montrer, tous les prévenus peuvent lever la main haut.
The majority here have not even had a trial.
There is a crisis of pretrial detention in the country, and Madagascar must apply its own law. Its constitution provides pretrial detention is an exception, but just one walk in there shows you that the reality is the absolute opposite.
Nationwide, Amnesty International has found that more than 50% of the prison population are pre-trial.
Cut that out. Fuck.
Nationwide, Amnesty International has found that more than 50% of the prison population are pre-trial detainees. For children, the rate is much higher. 14-year-old Marco has been here 2 months, accused of stealing 1 vanilla pod.
They try and justify it though by saying it was only one. He still stole. There are consequences for your actions. And unfortunately, living in that part of the world, this is your consequence.
From the lack of food, the lack of basic hygiene, to the lack of healthcare, the situation is dire. Rations mainly consist of manioc, a root that has to be cooked for hours to be edible. What makes things worse is that it is often rotten. In Manakara's prison alone, 100 prisoners have been identified as malnourished and rely on charitable church donations.
There's more than just that vegetable in there though, so again, she just picks and chooses bits of the story to make it seem worse.
For their survival.
Milaza milalana malagasy fa hoe miaro ny zon'olombelona fa nahoana moa zany tsy mampakasiana fiandrena ohatra ka hoe tena zon'olombelona marina ny arovana nahoana voafonja marary tsy manome vola fanjakana hoe dia lasa mitanila zany ny fiainany zanako satria na izaho aty zao ny tsy fantatry ny zanako akory hoe tiaponjy sa tena mpahafantariko azy zany manimaseny anaty ny fiarahamonina.
We want the government to stop the excessive use of pretrial detention, particularly for petty offences such as theft of chicken, of sugar, of vanilla. People like this have nothing to do in the prisons.
The problem starts outside prison.
So what they're just going to get away with it? Theft, that's not breaking the law now. You just want to change the law. Okay.
Because of the
And then what are you going to complain about? When the theft rate goes up and there's nothing you can do about it, what are you going to complain about then?
criminal justice system, it can take years from arrest to trial. But you can fast-track the process if you can pay. Stories of corruption and underfunding paint a picture of a system on the verge of collapse. Manakara prison was built for 150 prisoners, but according to prison records, there are around 700.
Prison officers are
And that's what happens when civilians think the prisons are full, they're not going to stick us in there. Yeah, they will.
victims because we always do our work. But do the judiciary or the tribunals do theirs?
The Ministry of Justice told Amnesty International it accepts there is a problem, made worse by rising population and crime rate. They've also said that they've started improving conditions and have introduced new measures to address pre-trial detention, but we could find little evidence of that. And remember, under Malagasy law, pre-trial detention should only be used in exceptional circumstances, not for someone accused of petty crimes like stealing a vanilla pod. Here in Ansirabe, there are some improvements, but not in the pre-trial detention, which affects more than 50% of prisoners. And every day, there are new arrivals. This man is accused of stealing 2 pigs. Shaken, he doesn't know how long he will stay here.
Well, don't be a
But it could be years
thief.
before his pre-trial detention ends.
Amin'ny fonja aloha dia tsisy manan-karena, tsisy mpanan-karena mihitsy aty amin'ny fonja satria raha misy mpanan-karena zany aty amin'ny fonja dia presque afaka daholo zareo satria mandoa vola izy dia afaka. Fa ho an'izay voatazona tena atao fonja zany dia olona tsy manana mihitsy aka miandry ny tena fahafahana sy ny izay indra fomba fanjakana. Izay no andrasana, izay mahatonga ny voafonja be dia be ato anaty fonja.
Yes, it is deplorable conditions. But they're in jail. What do you want? A 5-star hotel? This isn't new. You all knew that this is what a prison was like, and you still chose to break the